Hi, Diana Henry here at ConExpo 2020. Ed Sullivan from the Portland Cement Association joins us now. Ed, we've got some really big topics to talk about. Let's first talk about what's kept the economy strong over the last few years.
Well, there's no question. Prior to recent events with coronavirus, the economy was strong. It was based on strong consumer spending and a very healthy labor market. Those are the two ingredients that are required to have strong growth. You know, consumer spending counts at 2/3 of every dollar the economy generates. That's the fundamental. As long as the consumer is doing good, you're going to have a good economy. Now, it's also important to recognize, this economy has been recovering for 10 years. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we're due for a recession. Recessions don't just happen. They're brought on by excesses during a recovery period, like the last Great Recession. We've given money out to people who shouldn't have gotten it, in terms of mortgages, etc. Right now, those fundamentals remain good, 10 years in, but we are getting older. We don't have the zip and the vigor in the economy that we had back in 2012, 2013. We saw higher growth rates. We are starting to see GDP growth start to slow, and we were expecting that to slow this year and the following year. And then we had a surprise come at us in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the elephant in the room, right?
Yes,
Let's talk a little bit about how that's impacting all of these fundamentals.
I can tell you, when it first came out, I kind of dismissed it. And I hear it's going over in China. Okay. But I just heard recently, yesterday, a elementary school in the town that I live in is shut down. You know, this whole thing is in part based on fear. It's in part because the mortality rate that's attached to this virus is 10 to 20 times that of regular influenza. Influenza kills 61,000 people a year. So the possibility of it being very harsh, the risks are high. The fear is there. And when you start to talk fear, you're starting to talk consumers again. And the only way you can cure it, apparently, is there's no vaccine. You quarantine. You stay away. You don't spend. Look at the how many people probably came here. I know it probably fell well short of what people were expecting. It is going to have an impact on our economy. The question is, for how long? If you look at regular viruses, the coronavirus and influenza usually lasts 6-7 weeks, and it's gone. The temperatures change it. No one really knows if that's what the pattern is going to be for this. But I will give you a little piece of information that came out yesterday. 6 weeks ago, in China, 4,000 new cases a day. On Monday, 40.
Yeah, it's gone down.
It seems like it is following that pattern. So if that's the way it's going to go, then what we can suggest is the consumer will continue to be fearful, will withdraw, will reduce, until the thing starts to abate, until they feel safer. Now, think about what you did during that period. You didn't go out. You didn't buy that car. You've got some stored and pent-up demand that can be released. And on top of that, the government may do things. The Fed already reduced interest rates 50%. They're talking about other stimuli that will still be in place at the end of that 7 weeks. So here's our scenario. We have the whole first half depressed. It dissipates. And now GDP growth comes back stronger in the second half. What we're really saying is a lot of what's going to happen is a change in timing of economic activity, taken away from the first half and moving some of it into the second half. In the end, are we even? No, we're still going to get hurt. But it may not be the huge declines that some people are expecting. That's all based on our assumption. It's all based on our assumption this thing dissipates. If it doesn't, then that's a completely different story. And you know what? Going down that route maybe adds to the panic and the fear.
Yeah. We could sit here and talk about this all day.
Yeah.
But I know you want to get out on the show floor. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, your knowledge, and coming on here and talking with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
When your dealer services your cat, they know it's about keeping a lot more than a machine working. Let's do the work.